Well, if you're present with me now, just take a breath, kind of feel that energy that we were cultivating, that nice, deep presence in your body. Come back to that energy if you still are in tune with it. It was really deep for me. I don't know how you all felt. Anyone wants to share how the experience was? Relaxing?
Relaxing.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, and invigorating at the same time.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
That's
Very connected. I would have felt this energy like right in my pocket.
oh man.
Hey, can I borrow that?
You made my
Absolutely.
you made my year. Hearing you say that made my year. We can just take this energy in our pocket of where we go.
Yeah.
That's why I wrote this book.
Right, and you can actually do that if you choose to. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
It's rocket science.
Yeah, and it's fun to be in this energy and just meet people and they're like, whoa, it's like, you know, you bring something that people maybe have forgotten. And so we get to be these little sparks to light people's lamps in a way. That was, my best friend said that before he passed away. He created an organization called Stoke the World. And I was a musician at the time. And so we would throw parties and he was always like, we need to stoke people out. And, you know, we were young at the time. I'm a little more evolved with some wisdom, but the intention was there. We wanted to see more love. We wanted to wake people up, get them out of their shells, get them out of the suffering, the depression. So that intention's still alive. Yeah. Any other feedback of how the morning went? Good or bad?
I liked holding it for 5 minutes, even though I'm a very active person and I need to keep moving. That was good for me to really release. Like, I needed that extra time to really focus on releasing the tension. So I liked that a lot. I felt like that was super beneficial.
Yay. Yeah, likewise. I feel like we absorb a lot of that tension and it's got to become a routine, you know, to get back to normal, right? Normal is no tension. Yes.
Everybody here brings a higher level of vibrations. We all have so many vibrations, but they're all higher levels. So those vibrations help everybody to go to this higher level, just to be around everybody here and the teacher and everybody. And so it's a beautiful experience. It's a beautiful.
It is? Okay, just double checking. Thank you. Making sure this thing's on airplane mode. Well, thank you, man. Yeah, we all bring our own high vibration. It's nice to be around like-minded people who have been doing the work and cultivating the light in our own way. And you know, we're the change. We're the ones we've been waiting for. I hope you remember that when we go back to the world and it's chaotic. Just to remember that we have a gift to bring. Each one of us has our own unique gift, and that's what I'm hoping we can cultivate today. My intention is if we can get clear on what our purpose is and what our passion is and breathe with that energy that we're feeling, to harmonize those two things, we're unstoppable. We're unstoppable. And on top of that, if you want to merge with, there's a thing called the divine will. I just want to speak to it because it's something that I set myself on about 10 years ago as I realized there's a higher order and a plan going on. So I said, okay, I'm going to merge my will with this will of the divine, whatever it is for humanity. I know there's something greater than me that knows more than me, and that's been a prayer of mine for 10 years. So in the morning, like when I'm traveling, I'm in a place and I don't know where to go, I don't know what to do, I just pray. I say, okay, let me be an instrument of the divine will. And all of a sudden, all these amazing things happen. People just show up out of nowhere, or I'm guided to go, and I have this amazing experience, meet one person after another, and all these doors open. Everything's effortless because there's a power moving through me, and I just have to show up in service. And when I get inspired to do something, like someone maybe needs money, or they need wisdom, or they need space holding, or whatever it is, I'm just in service to love. And that's an optional choice, being human. We can do anything we want. We have absolute freedom. We have absolute choice here. And so you get to have fun or suffer, whatever you choose, right? So that's what the book's about, is about understanding that the purpose of life, as I understand it, is free will, that we're given this option to be an individual soul separated from the collective where we come from. And we're an individual I, and we get to have that experience. And there's a lot I could talk about that. I'm not sure how much I need to speak to, but let me open this space for just more feedback the morning, what I just said, or in the morning, and just is there more that wants to be shared in the circle? Yes.
I find that I want to start adopting more range of motion in my daily.
Mhm.
I have a fair amount of motion, but just I want to expand the range to more yogic positions.
Nice. So you got inspired that you want to go
Make
deeper?
that happen, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, brother. I gotta just in vulnerability. I really destroyed myself. I was overweight. I was over 200 pounds.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
You got any pictures?
Yeah. I deleted most of them, but there's a few out there. Yeah. Yeah, puffy. It's real puffy.
How long ago was that?
That was in the early 2000s. And then I made a choice to do my first fast, and then it set me on my journey of knowledge and uncovering. It started 2025 now, so that was 20 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Thanks.
That's hard.
I had no energy. I was getting paid back then over $100 an hour. I had my own business doing networking with computers. I was going around
Nice.
and being an entrepreneur, but I was sitting in my car and I was drinking a Red Bull and I had no energy to get up and go to work. And they were paying me like a fortune, small fortune. I was gonna work all day, make like $1,000. Back then it was a lot of money. And I was in my young 20s. And I was like, something ain't right. What's going on? And my aunt was a healer, a chiropractor, and she said, oh, you gotta fast. And so I did the lemonade cleanse. And then that started me on the journey of willpower, like to just drink. Do you know anyone know what the lemonade cleanse is?
That was
Yeah.
the first thing I started.
You
on
did
too.
that.
Yeah.
You did that. So who's done it?
14 days.
You've done it?
Lemonade?
Lemonade cleanse.
How do you do it?
So lemonade cleanse is every 2 hours you drink this concoction of lemon juice,
Yeah.
maple syrup, and cayenne powder.
Oh.
And water. Yeah, so the cayenne powder is supposed to be for circulation, and I think there's got to have some medicinal values, maybe some parasite cleansing,
And swelling and stuff like that.
inflammation. Yeah,
Inflammation.
all that. Yeah.
But how long do you do that for? Like days or?
They recommend you can go for weeks, but or at least start for 3 days. But once you get past the second or third day, then you reach a new space. It's beautiful. So you got to get past that first few days. My intention was 14 days. I think I made it to 10. And every two hours you drink it, you get the blood sugar from the maple syrup. The lemon juice has minerals and vitamin C.
Can you use raw honey for the maple syrup?
Possibly, look it up. Possibly.
Some people have done that.
Yeah, I would assume you can do that. It's just
Okay.
getting blood sugar in there. Honey's probably better than maple syrup. That's just how the recipe was.
So a spoon of lemon juice, a spoon of maple syrup, and a half gallon of cayenne pepper. What is it?
There's a recipe online. It's a small amount of cayenne pepper.
I want to.
Yeah. But you could probably make it. Yeah, there's a recipe in there.
And it's a cleanse.
Well, yeah.
And what does it cleanse?
No, it's just
Everything.
Everything?
It's just
Yes.
Turns out actually cayenne pepper is a frequency energy, so it actually, because of its fire in the Chinese medicine, it actually does electricity. So whenever you get that, what's going in my mouth, it actually, so what's happening to the body is getting electricity. What hates electricity? Parasites. It's like, okay, we're getting out of here. You're just killing out parasites.
Sure.
So all the things are like starting to leave. So that's why the lemon cleanses the liver. It's like it's a go, and you are going.
Yeah, I think we combine psyllium husks at some point too. You get a fiber. You can incorporate different cleansing.
And bentonite.
Yes, the
For
clay,
heavy metals.
the clay for heavy metals. Yeah,
Bed tonight?
bentonite clay for heavy metals. Yeah, I'm gonna be trying that because I've got heavy metals I found out in my hair analysis.
How do
So
you take that?
I think you
So-
you consume it.
I did
Is it a food?
I did a
Clay.
2-week fast, and I'll just share. I did colonics with it.
Yep.
And so what I did is I had a mixture of bentonite clay with ground psyllium seed husk, and I'd have that every hour and a half. And the other hour and a half, I would have green grass juice and maple syrup and vitamin C. all I had for 2 weeks, along with phonics. And it was huge. And it was like you say, the second or third day become blissful. I mean, just like able to forgive everybody who I thought, offended me. I realize now I choreographed the whole thing. But, it's extraordinary. But after the third day, I was planning on going a week, and it was so outstanding. I went for 2 weeks, but I think 2 weeks is maybe too long for me because I was.
Yeah, I just want to add, you want to be careful. I've done every kind of detox there is. You want to be careful not to do it for too long because it can block your body's absorption of minerals, and it can completely flush the minerals out of your body. And when you become mineral depleted, you're actually causing more problems. So you got to be really careful to put the minerals back in after a detox or during a detox. Make sure that there's minerals in the detox so your body is getting all of those
Electrolytes.
nutrients replenished.
One of the things about bentonite clay, it's indiscriminate in the minerals it takes out of your body. So it is, like you said, very important as you chelate, the heavy metals. You're also chelating, important minerals. So it's very important to supplement in the process.
You can fix the little problem with seawater. I'm sorry. The seawater have all the minerals of all the universe creation.
I gotta add to that. We're finding that there's heavy metals in our seawater now. Yeah. Unfortunately, sorry to break that.
Nothing is safe
So-
anymore.
so-
What are you suggesting?
Seawater.
Oh, seawater.
So we're sourcing our sea salt from high up, like in the fjords of Iceland and way up there. So there's a website. I'll put it in the chat that my wife found where they're testing all the sea salts and all our foods for heavy metals, so that when we're doing a heavy metal cleanse, we don't want to make sure we're putting more in there. So.
And all the air, all the earth, everything is full of heavy metals.
Yeah.
If you put a big hole 60 meters on the ground,
Mm-hmm.
there are heavy metals.
Yeah.
All the roots, all the plants, everything.
How did you find that out?
Well,
How'd you find that out?
Everywhere. I'm an investigator.
Yeah, you did some testing, or you did?
No, I do not. I read and investigate.
Oh.
A lot of resources, different
Okay.
resources.
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing that this
So
year.
Is useful.
I'm gonna be testing the soil.
The air is contaminated.
Yeah.
So
Yes, certain places have
the
heavier
seawater
contamination
is
than
the
others.
best medicine around the world, no matter what
It's
it
a
is.
quantitative and qualitative
Yeah.
thing.
We are around the sea.
I just want to add
Okay,
that
seawater.
the seaweed, intaking seaweed, like there's certain types of seaweed that are more powerful. The red seaweed, the dulse seaweed, you take it into your body and it's got all the minerals from the seawater in it, and then it binds to heavy metals, especially lead, in your body, and aluminum. It binds itself and then it safely gets it out of your body without like breaking up and becoming neurotoxins. Because what happens with heavy metals is they break apart inside, they biodegrade, and then they create neurotoxins, which causes problems with the brain and the nervous system. So seaweed, like nori seaweed, or chlorella, or like spirulina, or dulse is the most powerful. I recommend that one. That is one of the best detoxes for heavy metals you can do.
Is what?
Atlantic dulse seaweed.
DOLC.
You can get it online. Yeah.
So I really feel the next level of health is we're gonna have to test everything. Everything
Yeah.
that we're consuming, we're gonna have to test for heavy metals, test all our soil, our gardens, everywhere, and get really clear. So it's not, we're just our opinion, but we have science to back it all up. So it takes money, and I have some money to invest, so I'll be doing it. There's people doing it, donating. We can all donate together. There's solutions, but first we have to stop polluting the earth. Stop spraying the skies. There's SB 56 I talked to you about. I'm going to put it in the chat because they're talking about banning the spraying in the skies right now here in Florida. We did pass in Tennessee, so that's good news. Tennessee was the first one. They said no more spraying of the skies, so hopefully Florida is number 2. There are some big names in politics that are supporting that, so that's a big moment. Yeah, so the air needs to be clear, and it's everything. The air gets into the earth, gets into the water. I mean, everything's connected. So we have to stop polluting the earth. It's a big subject. But that's what we signed up for. Maybe we remember that or not. Yeah.
little
Yeah.
bit, change the subject.
Yeah.
I've noticed since I've been here, I got here on Friday night, and since I've been here on this kind of off-grid environment, away from the grid, away from the cell phone, and I put my cell phone in plane mode.
Thank you.
Thank you for recommending that, because I am noticing such a big difference in my energy from being here, away from the EMFs and away from the radiation, away from all of that. And I feel so much more alive and so much more energetic, and it does make a big difference.
Yeah, I'm so glad you are exploring that and finding it's working. Same, I woke up this morning like, this felt amazing.
I slept like a rock last night.
Yes, and you're right on the earth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, in your tent, in the garden,
Yeah.
right by the,
Next to
yeah.
the frogs. You
Yeah.
hear the frogs.
Yes. Yeah, so this is the answer right here. This is the answer. More of this. Let's create more of this together, right? Let's create more farms and gathering spaces, pure food, pure water, and pure hearts, which leads me to something that's a little bit of an awkward subject, but hopefully you can handle it. So we're talking about parasites, right? So there's spiritual parasites. Who are aware of the spiritual parasites? You are. Good, bless you. Anyone never heard of spiritual parasite? Never heard of it? Never heard of it? You ever heard of like someone has like a vampire energy, or they're draining your energy, right? Yes, like a sucking energy. So there are elements of life, of creation, that are taking our energy, and it's just an unfortunate reality. It's a very uncomfortable subject, but I'll get right to the solution. The solution is to increase our light and to heal any type of way they can get in. So healing our traumas is huge, because the way that the parasites have gotten after me is when I have been weak emotionally, like stressed or weak, or there's some challenge in my family, fighting or whatever it is, or stress about the news, or whatever it is. Maybe I didn't eat something right and I'm weak. Whenever we're weak, they'll come in our mind. So this is when, everyone talks about their mind chatter, the mind problems. Oh, my mind won't stop. My mind won't stop. So this is what I'm talking about. Is there's an element of life that does not have a body, that's projecting into our bodies and trying to get us to do what they want. They basically connect to us and they feel through us. And so the way we heal is to consciously become aware of that. If you're having thoughts that are intrusive to get you to do addictions, or to get you to fight with someone, or to get you, whatever it is, you can say no to it. And the key to start to understand the difference is that there's love, and then there's something that's separate from love. And what love is and what love isn't. You've got to get clear on that, on the patterns of life, so you can start noticing these patterns. So the easy ones is unity, to having the courage to move into unity, to bring us together, no matter how challenging that is, to have the courage. That's love. That's love, to move through the uncomfortable pain, the challenges, but to be committed to love and committing to bring us together, committed to healing. That's love. The other side is choosing to create separation, choosing to divide people, choosing to separate us from each other. So there's separation and there's unity. So you can break all the patterns of behavior in life into those two categories. And I hope you choose love. I hope you choose unity, because it feels better. It feels better. But the edge is you have to be okay with being uncomfortable. And the more that we heal ourselves, the more that we purify ourselves and purify our patterns, the more love we have within our body, and the more resilience and the more perseverance we can have in those challenging situations, to hold space when someone's really pissed off at you or someone else, and the energy's really uncomfortable. You can be with that and breathe with that, listen to them, let them release that, and to become a healer through your presence. And you can, there's different names for it. God is a pure name, the holy sanctity of God. You can also say the light of creation, the source of love. It's nameless, it's beyond names, but the way to get close to that is you have to become like it. You have to become pure. So anything within you that's creating separation, creating division, harming yourself or harming your body, whatever, you just gotta, all those patterns have to be removed. And then you just naturally become like it. We're in control. we're in control of if we're connected to this power or not. So was that helpful? Did any feedback on what I just shared about the spiritual parasites? Any feedback? Any other questions?
I have
Yes.
some feedback.
Yes.
So I found that you have to be really good at recognizing right away when something is like a spiritual parasite.
Yeah.
You have to be really good at catching it right in the moment. And then finding a way to turn it around, flip it around, or replace it with gratitude, replace it with light, replace it with love. Because we can just be going along and doing our thing, and a negative thing will come into our mind. And then if we're not guarded, or if we're not aware of our thoughts, it can start to fester, and it can start to grow, and then it can become a fear, and then it can become an action, and then it creates problems, right? So we have to be really good at catching it right away.
Yes.
You have to be so aware and so focused and present that we're like, that thought is not welcome here, and I reject it,
Yeah.
and I replace it with light.
Yes. Yeah. So be highly attuned to what's going on in your mind and your body, and to learn how to have healthy boundaries. Healthy boundaries. Boundaries are, I think, hard for a lot of us that are gentle souls. It's hard for us because we don't want to cause harm. We don't want to put that force into someone that's going to cause them harm. The way I've crossed that bridge and felt okay with asserting boundaries is that I know I'm protecting life, and I'm protecting love, and a father. It's a father's role. So I feel okay with, hey, no, but it's an art form. It can be brought. We can say, hey, no, or we can say, hey, no, thank you, brother. Hey, can we do this? And we can bring our heart into it. So as you start to develop your boundaries, you're going to have your willpower. It's, hey, it's a real heart. But then you can take that energy up into your heart, and you can start to take that energy and it's play yourself like an instrument of love. So you can go into any situation of darkness and just kill people with love, and it works. It works.
Kill me kindness.
Yeah. Yes.
So, with regards to parasites, another entity that is of parasitic nature is fungus. And what I have learned to believe and studied is that there's a fungal entity. There's a fungal entity that resides primarily in our brain, that has a huge vote in what we choose to eat. And if you stop eating sugar, it's like this fungus screams for sugar, and most of the time people relent and they do sugar. But fungus is, I'd say, a very big part in what contributes to obesity.
Yes. Sugar is a huge problem. I want to tap into just another piece of the puzzle with parasites. Kind of trippy. I don't know if this can be proven, but it resonates to me. Is that I really think the energy of the parasites is connected to these spiritual parasites. I think that there's some sign of energetic connection. So they're like living within us, resonating within us. They're like embedded in us.
Wow.
And that energy, I feel like all life. You love your dog. You love even plants. Love each other. Our energies connect. We're all connected. You have that family unit. So I think that's part of it. So by clearing our physical parasites, it will help with the energetic parasites
I
as well.
haven't drawn that
Yeah?
connection. That's very
Yes.
I made a discovery was that when I was doing some deep parasite cleansing, that my emotions were connected to the emotions of the parasites. Like,
Wow.
I was feeling what they were feeling,
Whoa.
and I was like, wait a minute, that's not my feeling, that's the parasites. And as soon as I made that discovery, I was like, okay, this is not me, because the parasites were dying because I was killing them off with garlic and all kinds, cayenne pepper and all kinds of stuff. And then I was like, I feel like I'm dying. I feel like I just want to die. And I'm
Wow.
like, that's not me.
Wow.
That's the parasites.
Yeah,
So when
yeah.
you can disconnect from what they're feeling, it's a lot easier to cleanse them out, and it's a lot easier to be just filled with love. The more love you let it permeate your being, the less they'll want to stay,
Yes, exactly. Yeah, with shine light, like the love is light, and it'll cast them away. But I love that you're talking about noticing that maybe that thought wasn't you, wanting
that
to die.
They
I wanna
try, like he said, like
Can I finish that, and then you can say
Absolutely.
something? Okay. So to speak on the dying thing, the way I understand it is that in creation we come in here, we inhabit a body, we're a spirit in the body, and when we die, everyone's heard the story, we go to the light, right? Everyone's like the near-death experiences, they say, oh, go to the light, you go in the light. Well, some spirits don't. Some souls don't, and then they stay in between. I feel like that is what we're experiencing, is that there's these in-between spirits that haven't died. And so when they're going to be released from their host, it's going to be that sensation of dying, because they're like, oh no, I'm losing my connection to the source, to the love that we have in the body. That's the gift that we have. This energy that we feel, that we breathe, the miracle of life, of everything. We're connected to creation. And when our spirit doesn't have a body, then it'll need to go back home. So they're latching on and they're holding on for dear life. So we can talk to that part of ourselves with compassion and say, hey, I know you want to stay here, but you have to leave. And we can use healing tools to speak to them with love and compassion. It doesn't have to be force, but you have to protect yourself. No one's going to do this for you but yourself. You have to intentionally remove them. And if you're it's a unique process for everybody to go within and find out what is you and what isn't. And that's about getting still in the book, when it's about connecting with your higher self, the pure part of you. It's like your personal angel, or whatever you want to talk about. There's a pure part of you that is waiting for you to talk to it. It won't interfere with your free will until you're ready to remember the part of you that contains all your past lifetimes, all that. So that part of you will help you, but you have to get really still and connect to whatever is pure. Connect to God, whatever is pure to you that you feel faith and trust to. And then from that point of that connection, that bubble you'll make, then you can start to see what is not you and remove it. And also substances, cannabis is a popular one. That if you do too much of that, it'll open up your energetic field and things will get in, and it'll be hard to differentiate between what you're. So plant medicine, you gotta be really careful doing that, because when you're really open and your spirit and your aura is really open, these things can get in and play with you. So you have to be really mindful and really understanding what's you and what's not you. And I got lost. That's why I'm saying that. I got lost with it, and I played with them, and they played me until I said no more, and had to. But it was a really uncomfortable process to remove them. They were embedded in me. It was really uncomfortable. Do you had something to say?
Yes. We're naturally fruitarians. That's how our biology is set up, and if you compare it to other animal groups, you'll see that that's exactly what we are. And so when people talk about sugar, there's actually two sugars. There's a sugar that we're natural. Well, basically, there's probably many different types of sugars. But when anything's processed, it takes it out of that natural form that may have been good for us and turns it into the opposite of something that's very harmful to us, and that will give us the weight gain and everything else. So being a fruitarian, we want to eat only 100% natural, raw, vegan fruit, and then we're getting some really healthy sugar that our body is naturally good at processing for ourselves. So don't get confused if somebody says, I'm going to avoid all sugar. You got to definitely distinguish between the sugar that's been highly processed, which is like completely different in formation and everything, chemical formation, and what it's going to do to you.
Can I add to that? It's also the amount we can consume. When things are processed, we're consuming way more than if we were out there harvesting it and doing it by hand, and it has all the fiber, and our bodies are going to be like, oh, I'm full, because that's fiber. When we're processing it, we're removing all that stuff, concentrating the elements, so it's out of its original design.
Question.
Yes.
Could you please comment on the idea of alcoholic drinks? Like there's red wine and there's white wine, and that has some sugar in it, but just in general, because there is alcohol in it, have you heard, I've heard stories where it's very harmful, the alcohol, but I have a sensing that there may be some health benefits to eating or drinking like a red wine or something like that.
There's gonna be good in all if you have the intention with it. I personally have stopped drinking alcohol. I with red wine in particular, there's a lot of compounds in the skins of the grapes that there are antioxidants, and so from that element. But you can also drink grape juice. It doesn't have to be fermented. If you're needing to relax, there's maybe find out why we're tense. And there's other herbs, there's other plants. These flowers in this ground cover, the mimosa, the little pink flower, it's super relaxing. I'm gonna start growing it. I'm gonna bring it to Chad's place, and so we can go pick that and make tea. And you get a nice gentle buzz, and there's no hangover, nothing. So yeah, I do want to just add the alcohol is that I understand it's a byproduct of like yeast, so it's kind of like a waste product. and it's used as a cleaner. So from my understanding, when I'm consuming that, my body is getting damaged. My body goes into self-healing mode, and it releases all these good feelings to me because I need to be healed. And when we heal, when our bodies relax, so the body's self-healing mechanism is activated. I feel like that's part of why it's why it's confusing. Because I remember drinking beer and I'm like, part of me feels good, and I was confused, but it took me along this journey to realize, after so many hangovers, right, that I was like, no, something's not quite right. And then there's the additives. But maybe if you're making it on your own, small scale, use it ceremonially, I'm not going to judge you. And you just have to everyone has to reflect on their own. If you take something and you feel worse after it, it's probably not good for you. But if you take it and afterwards you feel fine, it's probably safe. It's also moderation, right? Everything, it's the dose. So micro-dosing plant medicine is really the way to go to find balance within yourself. Do you have something to say?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm glad we're having this conversation because there's a lot to talk about, different aspect of spiritual parasite. I really love that term. First time I heard of it, so thank you, Zach. So this discussion about the parasite that we know, the bugs and people could be a spiritual parasite that sucks our energy. Alcohol, sugar, everything is yes. There's need to be a balance. And in Chinese medicine actually uses alcohol in the past as a medicine. But then if it's too much of it, it actually impacts our cognitive ability. So we cannot connect with the universal energy. It clogs our pineal gland and let us. Well, that's why we can't drink and drive, right? We lose our ability to having clear mind,
Yes, clear
and
mind,
alertness.
yes.
So that mental faculties are lost
Yes.
when we have too much alcohol in the body.
Thank you.
So, but I want to address the most important version of spiritual parasite actually is the animal that we eat in the food.
Mm-hmm.
Those beings that suffer, all these terrible surroundings, life qualities. When they die, they're experience tremendous stress.
Yeah.
In addition to the fear, the anger,
Right.
the exploitation that commercial agriculture has on the animal,
Right.
even like very peaceful, serene way of being captivating the animals here that we saw here. They seem peaceful, but they, in the process of eventually later becoming a meal for humans, they go through this tremendous stressful time, which these stress hormones end up in the food that we take in, and those are the beings that we are not aware of consciously, that we allow ourselves, these animals to take hold in our energy field.
Yeah, I want to speak to that because what I'm noticing with my relationship with meat
Yeah.
is that I feel better without it.
Yeah.
I feel better without it, especially when I'm in a warm climate. But when I'm in a really cold climate, and if my diet gets out of balance, then I have found medicine in me in a moment when I was really cold. And I learned in Chinese medicine, if you look up, there's charts on which foods will warm the body, which foods will cool the body, which foods will add moisture, and which will dry the body. And so the body's always trying to find balance.
Yes.
And so when we move through the seasons, we can be mindful of our diet. And I'm finding the more that I'm in a warm environment, I need less heating foods. Fruits are very cooling foods. So I can live off coconut water, cucumber, jicama, and carrots and cucumber and all these foods and sprouted nuts. Like that was a business I had in Oregon, and we sprouted pumpkin seeds, sprouted walnuts, great protein sources, good fat sources.
That's a good point. I mean, talks about energy and food, the cold and the heat. That's all Chinese medicine. I
Yeah.
know that's why Chinese medicine supports eating animals. However, they don't address the impact of the spiritual
Right.
On the spiritual of eating animals,
Right.
having these beings that are having energy, negative energies that we don't know what comes
Sure.
with,
Sure.
because consciously we don't know what the animal experienced in their life.
Yeah.
And then when we consume them in our energy field, we become them. And that's why people, and I see that in my clients as vegan acupuncturist, I see all the time that the difference is so clearly to me. That's why I become vegan, actually, because I see such a big impact on the spiritual parasite that these animals that the people consume. They drain their energy, they unconsciously give them stresses that they don't know that they have. They have all kinds of stress, and they act out those violence, those anger, those fear that the animal that they consume.
Yeah.
And it's not about the heat and the cold. Yes, that's part of it, but that's why I don't agree with Chinese medicine in that sense, because that really is the violence in our food contribute to our spiritual unease.
Sure.
And our ability to connect truly, purely, having that pure energy that pollutes it totally. That's the biggest spiritual parasite.
It is a big negative energy of density on
Yes.
our planet for sure, and the way we grow our animals is
Yes.
is in these mass feedlots,
Right.
disconnected. It's not like this. It's a bigger conversation maybe for this moment, but I just want to add that the reason I brought up the heating and the cooling is just the way that I would understand why that meat felt good for me, and
Yes.
I felt better after it. But then you can discover there's other ways to warm and heat your body. And so I'm trying to keep a place of non-judgment within myself and others, and also if some of us want to get away from it, to move into finding out what your body needs and move into that space. And I think a lot of people are going to be motivated on feeling good in their body, so to discovering what the body needs. And so that Chinese medicine was really helpful, and that's ancient wisdom.
Yes.
But I hear you that a lot of our ancient traditions have kind of been diluted from the original purity and some of the things. It's time for reinvention, and that's why we're here. We're here to have these honest discussions. And I'd love it. Maybe at one of the next events we can go deeper. We can have like a whole hour or two, and we can talk about.
That's why Dr.
Yeah,
Tuttle
yeah.
gave the speech on ahimsa. I mean, at the last Peace Festival, ahimsa, the concept, the word ahimsa is in India non-violence.
Mm-hmm.
So this has been the concept of not consuming violence into our body.
Mhm.
It's not recent. It's been thousands of years.
I agree. That's
Yeah.
a beautiful principle that we should uphold as a
Yeah.
goal to cause no harm on anyone.
It is the true essence of peace.
Yes.
Because if we don't have peace in ourselves, in our animals, fellow creatures that inhabit Mother Earth,
Mhm.
there won't be world peace. That's why world peace diet, Dr. Tuttle, so his wife has been promoting
Yeah.
that message is so crucial
Yes.
to world peace.
Okay, let me complete this this moment, because this is charged and everything. So that what I've noticed when I went vegan, that my body was getting really weak, and I found that when I started to eat a little more animal products, my health came back. So now I'm at a place where it's like I think I can be mostly vegan, and I can eat sprouted nuts and seeds, but I'm finding like a little bit of pastured dairy, like if the little baby cows, when the baby cow's nursing from the mama, if we love that cow and we're feeding the cow, maybe we could just get a little milk from it, and while it has a good life, we're not causing it harm. I feel like would be the practice of ahimsa, and it would work for my body. And I've read a book that Eat Right for Your Blood Type, and it goes over the evolution of our blood types. And there's type A, who I've found, whenever I meet someone who's thriving as a vegan, I ask them their blood type. Oh, I'm type A. Or sometimes people don't even know their blood type. So I feel like there's something genetically going on. I'm blood type O. I'm like old school, and our ancestors evolved with animals. But I agree that the way we're raising animals now and we're overeating it and there's a vibration. I am completely against the way we're growing it, but I feel like there's some kind of middle ground, because if you looked at Dr. Tuttle's wife, she was having her eyes were sagging, her body's connective tissue were not right. And if you look online, if you search for it, there's a lot of vegans who got really sick. One guy, Matt Monarch, who had a place down in Ecuador, he almost died. His digestive system got blocked up and deteriorated. And he had to start eating a little bit of sheep's yogurt, a little bit of fish. Then his body started to heal. And so there's more to this conversation, and maybe there's a way we can find out what elements that these are that our bodies need for our blood types that we can get from plant sources or we can get from other sources. But what really I'm speaking to is I really feel there's something in our bodies that's needed that we found as works from, say, like a milk. There's something in there for our bodies, and I have to honor that, because whenever I've gone vegan, I just get really weak and I don't feel right. Yes?
Yeah, can I say
Yes,
something
yes,
to
yes.
that? Yeah,
Yes.
this is great conversation.
Okay.
And thank you, Zach, for allowing us to have this conversation.
Sure.
And this is my journey. I have been a meat eater. I've been a vegetarian. I've been now vegan, and then since last year raw vegan. So that's my journey, and it's this is what of course, every one of us speak from our own experience, right? So in my clients that I see, vegans versus non-vegans, when they consume animal protein, actually the milk and the eggs, actually, believe it or not, and most people don't know this, and this is strictly from my point of view as a holistic healer, and my specialty in reading people's ears, the body actually, I'm so honored, because my modality, I get to hear directly from people's body what their body respond to their diet. So what I found clinically, people who have eggs and dairies, animal proteins, not just even if they don't consume the meat, they just consume dairy or eggs, they have inflammation in the body. I've never seen anybody that doesn't have any inflammation as long as they have protein, animal protein. And what I also found from clinically, this is what I talked in all my talks, it's my mission. I take it up to myself, the mission to share the message, because not everybody have my perspective, that eggs and dairy actually to our body is worse than meat. Why? Because they are byproducts from our reproductive system, from the animal's reproductive system. So nature, thanks to the universe, to God, the creator, makes us that we in our reproductive system is designed to concentrate the essence, the goodness, the most everything that we consume in terms of food and emotional health, everything distill into the best that we give to our offspring. So it comes in our eggs, in the chicken, and the cow is in form of the milk. That's supposed to be the best. However, because of the environmental toxins and the treatment of the animals,
And what they're fed.
Yeah, what they're fed,
Yeah.
The hormones, the antibiotics.
Yeah.
Guess what? All those poisons
Yes.
get distilled
Yes.
into the
Yes.
byproducts.
Yeah.
So actually, the byproduct is worse than the meat.
Right.
Because
it's
all
concentrated in
is
that.
such more
it's for life.
concentrated.
It's for
Yes.
life to grow, and
Yeah.
when
So
my daughter was.
it's manipulating, the God's creation
Sure.
into a commercialized and unknowingly turn the the animals into a machine that produce
Yes.
actually worse poisons, so that when we consume it, we consume the eggs and the dairy. It's actually considered liquid meat.
Yeah.
There's another term.
Sure.
And liquid meat is the worst. And because that causes...
Can I share?
Let me
Yes,
finish
yeah.
my point. That the liquid meat actually causes more cancer at the fastest speed. That's why reproductive cancer, prostate cancer, breast cancer, ovarian cancer, everything that comes associated with the reproductive system is number one on the top of the list of cancers. The whole world is, you can check the numbers. That's what professionally, that's what I've seen, and that's what my mission is to spread that.
I think you're 100% right with the way we're growing animals and what they're fed and all the toxins and everything. I'm 100% with you. I think what I'm trying to speak to is just what I've been noticing within myself to feel whole and healthy within myself. I feel like there's some kind of balance, and if the animals are eating pure grass and taking a little bit of their milk, I feel like that's okay for me. I'm happy to have a deeper conversation about all this.
It's true, yeah.
And also in the eggs, like they were supposed to be eating bugs. Like they can eat the ticks and the bad things out of our garden.
Your body, and I'm just a facilitator.
Yeah.
When you have that conversation with your body, and James has the experience of, you listen to your ear, your eyes, your body will tell you what it's dealing with.
Yeah.
And it's all information from any animal product
Yes.
that you do.
Well, I'll agree with that. So yeah, inflammation's at the root of all disease, and so if we remove all sources of inflammation, our body's gonna last longer. We're gonna feel better.
Yeah.
The tension, the
That's the
pain,
bottom line.
all that stuff. Yeah. So if you have inflammation, find out why, get to the root of it, and I think we can all agree not to eat mainstream meat. I think everyone can agree
no
with
doubt.
that.
And it's, I think it's an acidic diet.
Yeah.
Is what feeds the parasites, the bread and like the different acidic foods. That's what the parasites crave. And then they send a signal, to us, like a false signal.
Yes.
So,
yes,
but like you were mentioning, like these chickens and these cows,
Yeah.
I think you'd be perfectly fine eating, I eat these eggs right here off these chickens. I mean, I don't think we milk any of the cows here,
Yeah.
but the cows, I mean, and when you see in the store it says grass fed, or it's like, what else would a cow eat? It's like, it just shows you they're eating something other than grass, right?
Well, I think it's in the essence of unity. I think that this is a bigger conversation for this moment. I think this is a deeper conversation, and I would love to help co-create a deeper space for us to really get involved in this. Maybe we can have like a weekend where we explore the diet, like we eat that way, see how we feel that way. Because a lot of times we get out of the mind, we get into the body, and we can feel it, and then that there's no need to push our truth on someone if someone's experiencing it.
Please, please be careful. I'm not pushing anywhere. I'm offering my view.
No, you're not
and
pushing.
then-
It's just in
and
the
then,
collective we're losing our
that's
unity.
That's why I offer.
You can finish. You can finish.
Oh, yeah, I am.
You can finish. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why in the retreats that I participate as a practitioner, I read their ears, and then they get to listen directly from their body what inflammation they're dealing with, and they get to choose what in their diet, what in their lifestyle
Beautiful.
they get to choose. It's up to them,
Well, maybe you
For
could
me, I'm
offer a
just
workshop.
a messenger.
Yeah.
Don't shoot the messenger.
No, I'm not shooting. I'm not shooting you.
Yeah,
I'm not shooting you.
yeah,
It's just
so-
it's a deeper. It
Yes.
triggers a lot of people. A lot of people don't want shame and guilt around what
But
they eat.
it's a discovery. It's a self-discovery for a lot of people, because you don't know what you don't know, because you don't know what your body is dealing with. My mission is to let people hear directly from their body.
Yeah.
The inner
Yeah.
doctor is crying out, and they
Let's do
don't
it.
hear it.
Let's do
And
it.
I
Let's do it.
want them to have a voice. I'm I give voice to your
Yeah.
inner doctor.
Yes.
And then
Yeah, by
and
reading
what
what the
I
feet
want
and the
you,
ears.
I'm
Yeah.
standing for everyone to hear directly from their body and choose what based on what the body, because
Yeah.
we are partner to our body.
Yeah.
And so I want everybody to be the best partner to our doctor, to our inner doctor, so that we, as a team, we can live the best life we are meant to.
What if we have a workshop
Yeah.
like with what those words you said? We can title it like being your own doctor or listening to your body.
That's my.
And we can
my
host a whole
thoughts.
weekend. We can co-create it and let
Yeah.
everyone know, and we
Yeah,
can come.
do different diets, and then you can check out how inflammation
That's
is
what I
happening
do.
throughout like a whole
Yeah,
week.
that's why.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why. That's why
Yeah.
the
To make sure it's
at
the
the
purest of
resort
everything.
retreat, I
Yeah,
read
but, like,
everybody's
also each
ears,
body
and then they know.
is different type
Yeah.
of like
Yeah, that's
say,
the key.
each
It's be
body
your own
has
doctor.
a different reaction, so yeah, it would be interesting.
Yeah, don't you think so?
Always listen to you.
Right, be your own doctor.
So
Yeah, I remember I went to the VA for something, and they're like, "Who's your doctor?" I'm like, I haven't been to a doctor in like 10, 15, 20 years. They're like, huh? I'm like, what do I need a doctor for?
Yeah.
You know, it's
Same.
like they
Same.
just push pills.
Same.
Yeah,
Same.
it's a money game. Yeah.
Yes. What time are we at? What time are we at? Do you know what time? Okay. Well, we had about an hour of discussion, and that was good. Let's close the circle out. Let's close the circle. Just let's go around in a circle, and you get 2-ish minutes. Just be authentic. You can say your truth, even if it triggers somebody. You can say love, gratitude, complaints, praises.
I have nothing but love and gratitude today for everybody, and I love all the speakers, and I love the caring and sharing I see right here with this speaker too. So thank you to everybody.
Yeah, thank you. Find your truth in your life and feel your food. You know.
When you go back out into the world and you're away from this like-minded group and stress comes up, say this mantra: I forgive everyone and everything, especially myself.
nowadays there are a lot of information. We have to be very careful and investigate better everything to improve our health and our mental health, everything. I'm glad to hear all the point of view, but I'm not totally agree with you. I have another point of view, but that's it.
I am very grateful to be here. Thank you for the Peace Festival. I, in my soul, feel that the best thing is to add and multiply, be with people that add and multiply in any way. And there's two paths, either fear or love. So go for love.
Thank you for everybody sharing, coming together and sharing your love and sharing your energy. This is, of course, what this is all about. And then, of course, my thing, as I always say, is dare to be different, dare to be unique, dare to be yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I just like I just like to keep myself in basically a center, neutral position on most things. So, like she's saying, a lot of research, a lot of information is out there. So, right now is very important to just not go too extreme, in my opinion, on any aspect of anything. Honestly, just kind of stick with just everything. Be part of everything if you can, but the better parts of it, like better food, better sourcing of everything. Just
Thank you, brother.
I like that we're in a very like we have separate and different viewpoints on the subject of food and what's good and what's bad for us. And I believe at this, 2025, there's still a list that I would love to create for whether if it's good for myself, and still discovering like what is if I can get a list of foods that are from God, what is that? Or are we still discovering what that is? Are we to a direction that we're gonna lose that? So I want a list of God's food and stay away because of this. I want to filter what isn't God's food.
Beautiful.
And this is, I'm glad to be here to witness like, just these awesome minds.
Yeah.
So
Beautiful.
Yes, and I agree. Thank you all. I've learned so much being here in this great conversation and wasn't expecting all this. I mean, really, it's truly a blessing. And yeah, it makes me want to do my own homework. And I really think we all should do that and listen to our bodies. I really do feel like we know best if we trust ourselves. Thank you.
We did this a couple weeks ago. You were there. And it's really fascinating to look at if you just focus on the good stuff. There's so much bad stuff in the world. Just look at Telegram or the news, right? But if you just make your life about the good stuff and the good people, and if that's where you focus and that's where your energy is, it's amazing. Like, I'm really getting that with this whole Peace Festival thing with Wayne and I and the property and everything. It's just like my life is going to be like this on a very regular basis. And that's really cool. And I didn't foresee that like a year or two ago, right? Like how can it just be awesome and wonderful all the time? I think I was telling you just the other day, it's like when I had my corporate job and I was married and it was like a decade plus ago, one interesting fun thing would happen maybe once a month and I'd be all excited because life was just boring and I was doing stuff I didn't want to do and you just had to dredge through it. And Friday, thank God it's Friday kind of thing. But now like my life is at a point where there's interesting, fun stuff going on all the time, and some things I actually legitimately forget about because there's so much coming in. The visual that I have is it's like a cup and you have some water in it and it's dirty water, and that's the bad things in your life. So you could spend all your time picking out with a spoon each little dirt piece, or you could just take a 5-gallon bucket full of clean water and just pour it in there, and then it just cleans it out for you. And there's no work to do, it's just fun to have.
Thank you, brother.
Well, thank you. I'm so grateful to be in conversation with beautiful souls around me because I love that that am standing for everyone that I come across to have the optimum health that God chose us for us, that because our body is such an amazing supersonic jet that we get to have the honor to maneuver to be the pilot for this supersonic jet. And I am so grateful I have the privilege to help not only myself. First, I start with myself, open my eyes and ears to how powerful our body is, and then I get to share, be in this incarnation to share with my brothers and sisters in this incarnation, in this plane, to be aware how powerful we truly are, and we could truly maneuver this supersonic jet and have the best life that we are entitled to. So I'm just so grateful that I get to share what I learned in my journey. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right. It's all about self-mastery is what I believe, and then activating our light body.
Yeah.
We want to have 1 foot in the physical body, 1 foot in the light body, and there's many dimensions, many realms to explore, and why not explore them? Why not be master of self? And unconditional love.
Thank you, brother. Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you. Well, let's. You want? Oh yes, Steve, cameraman Steve has some wisdom for us.
I am just in amazing gratitude, so thankful for all that I've experienced in the last month that I've been in Florida, Voluntaria especially, and most recently down here, and the people I've met, and the sincerity and the open hearts that I've found everywhere. I'm really touched, and I'm just very grateful, very grateful.
Thanks, Steve. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you for being here.
thank you for being here.
I'll just close out the circle. We can do a collective breath. I invite us, the intention of unity. even though we may have differences and there may be uncomfortable energy here, but to know that there is common ground. I think we all want peace, and we all want love, and we're all awakening beyond what we were born into, and we're rediscovering that. And so if we can just invite in a breath of gentleness, a breath of forgiveness, a breath of patience. Even though we may have strong emotions, let's just breathe that we have time. We still have time, and we're going to make time, and we're going to keep discussing these things together. And let's just breathe to know that the truth will be revealed, and we will have peace. We will have love, and let's just breathe in that in silence. Just know that it's coming. Know that it's coming. It may be a bumpy road, may be exciting, in the supersonic jet we're flying around, but we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it home. We're all gonna be part of the unity. We're all one family, all brothers and sisters, and peace is possible. And it starts with us. And the power that we have here and the power we've cultivated is creating ripples. And anyone watching us, to breathe with love, to make time, to trust yourself, to cultivate love within you, and to walk with that, and to treat everyone as you would want to be treated. Let's live by the golden rule. Does that sound good?
Yes.
Golden rule.
The golden rule. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
God bless.
Thank you.